All right.
Oh
man.
Sup, brats?
Nothing much. I watched these movies like what? Probably like 4 days ago now. So
yeah, I watched these movies a decent chunk of time ago now, because we were originally supposed to record like 4 days ago, right?
Yeah, on Thursday. Yeah. What's today? Saturday? Sunday? Yeah.
That's the day I watched them.
Oh, I see. I had watched them a couple days before.
Ooh. Well, welcome back to Screen Weens. We're almost to episode 80. Episode 79. Here we go. We're getting up there. 109 subscribers, motherfuckers.
Hell yeah. Ooh. I like it. Alrighty.
I saw you were watching some other superhero shit, right? Were you just watching the showcases, the like short films?
I had watched the Shazam versus Superman movie, which came with like, because that's only like half an hour long.
Yeah, and then it has all the others prepackaged kind of thing.
Yeah, so I watched those, and then I was kind of in the mood to watch another one, so I checked out Superman, Batman Apocalypse, or Batman Superman Apocalypse,
the one
whatever
that's
it's called.
Just not even a Batman movie. It's just a Supergirl and Superman movie, right?
Yeah.
That one's pretty decent.
Aside from the misleading title, I think it's pretty good. I liked it.
I don't know if it... Yeah, I still have a screenshot from that movie as my computer background right now.
Oh, nice. What's the screenshot?
It's just, I think it's Superman got, like, punched up into space and is just, like, laying there in front of the sun. It was, like, really nice looking.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. I know what part you're talking about. But yeah, that was pretty good. And that's from, like, the same director as these two that we watched.
Yep, Lauren Montgomery did this one, yep.
Okay.
She doesn't have a like huge film directing repertoire, but like most of her stuff is pretty consistent. At least I think she's more of a consistent director than like Sam Liu, who we talked about last week and stuff. I'm not a fan of the Crisis on Two Earths that she did. But I like Justice League Doom alright. And then she did Batman Year One with Sam Liu, so that's pretty good too.
Okay, yeah.
So the only things I haven't seen from her are Superman Doomsday, which covers the same shit as Death of Superman. And then she did another like Green Lantern movie 2 years later.
Okay. The Doomsday, that's like the one from like 2007, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought about checking that one out this week, but I was like, I'll watch it later.
I feel it. She also did a DC showcase for Catwoman. I don't know if you saw that one or not.
No, that wasn't featured there.
Okay.
I'll have to check it out, though.
I still haven't been watching movies. I watched... Did I talk about Kill List on the last podcast?
What was the basic plot of it?
Actually, I don't think I did. The title's not ringing any bells. Kill List is about this guy who's like retired or a hitman, or he botched a job like a year ago or so, and he's like getting back into it, and it's like a horror thriller thing, and everything just starts going like, oh, it's pretty good. It reminds me of like. It has similar vibes to, like, The Lighthouse or Midsommar, like, things like that. Like, it has a similar vibe to it. I really dug it.
Okay. I still need to watch Midsommar.
And then, it's not great.
I know.
Everyone loves it!
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're the only person I've seen who isn't crazy about it, but, I mean, I wasn't super crazy on Ari Aster's first movie, which everyone else was...
And I really liked Hereditary, so I'm like...
Yeah. I need to rewatch Hereditary. Now that I know, like, what to expect from it, I'd probably like it more. It was just, I was like, there's such good, like, character drama in here, and they're going, spoiler alert, the supernatural route when I was kind of hoping for more of a psychological. But that's just me injecting my own preferences, so I don't know.
And that's why DDoS 2
I acknowledge
is going to be great.
I acknowledge that the film was competent, and I understand why so many people like it. And there were even things I did like about it, so. But yeah. Oh, nice. But yeah, so I watched those. Yeah, those are the only things I watched this week. I think. Pretty sure.
I rewatched The King of Staten Island as well.
Oh, nice, nice. Like, I thought about watching that because I got HBO Max now.
I thought it was on Prime. No, it is on HBO.
Yeah.
It's really good. I really like it, at least. But I like Pete Davidson, so.
And it's I checked out... Oh, no. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. No, I didn't realize you were done with your thought. Keep going.
No, I'm done now. I don't know what I was going to say.
I was just going to say I watched the pilot to the old... Or I didn't watch the full thing. I watched, like, the first 2/3 of the pilot to Wonder Woman from, like, the 70s.
I had the whole first season on DVD growing up. That was, like, my main... Like, I watched the original Spider-Man trilogy because I had them on DVD, and I watched, like, Wonder Woman a lot.
I had never seen any... Like, I've seen, like... The images from the show, like I was aware that it was kind of like the campy Wonder Woman show.
Yeah.
But holy shit, like I will say some of the writing is just like fall asleep boring, but just their fucking techniques for shooting. Like there's a point where it's like two dudes are falling out of a helicopter and like one of them's a Nazi and they're trying to shoot each other, but it's such a shitty like chroma key that they did. And it's like the funniest thing in the world to watch. I was dying.
I have to rewatch some of that because, like, I remember liking it, but I was also like 8 when I watched a lot of this.
Yeah, that's kind of me with like Lou Ferrigno's Hulk.
Fantastic. We should watch all of it. I don't know how much it was. How long did that run?
Probably like 3 seasons at least, maybe.
I did last night. I watched there's a new anime that's starting to air. I think it has 3 episodes already. We watched the first episode. We watched Skate the Infinity or something, or Skate the Infinite. I can't remember what it's called. But it's pretty much Initial D, but on skateboards, and it's amazing.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna be watching all that probably.
Fair. I have not heard of that until just now. But
I bought some comics.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'll be right back. Oh,
cool. I also bought some comics, or more appropriately, I gave London money and he bought me some comics since he works in the comic industry now. But yeah. Here he comes.
Oh, my chair's falling down. Oh no. Oh no. All right. Oh god. So I bought the trade paperback of the Death of Superman. This is the first one. I think there's 5 in it.
Yeah, there's the Death of Superman.
Funeral for a Friend.
Yeah, Reign of the Superman, then the Return. And then Doomsday.
And then I bought a trade paperback of The Rise of Kylo Ren. I've already read this, but I like it. And I'm like, I want more Star Wars stuff in my house.
Fair.
And I bought a new board game yesterday that I'm probably going to play today. Called Role Player. It's a dice allocation game. Where you're building an RPG character. That's just all the game is. You're just making an RPG character.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's just like, so you have a player board that has your race on it, and then you draw, like, out of decks of cards. You draw your alignment, your like class, and your backstory or something like that. And all of those things are like, you'll get points if your alignment is more chaotic, or if you have a lot of strength because you're a warrior, stuff like that. So then you're rolling dice and you're like, I need to put this 3 here because this'll make my wisdom 11, and I need it to be 11 to 12, so I score that area.
Okay. Huh.
I really like games where you roll dice and allocate them places. So.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like it'd be a fun, like, little game.
And played a little more Lord of the Rings game. It's been like a month. Good game. Journeys in Middle-earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we're halfway through the second campaign now. The one that came in the expansion box. We lost for the first time because I got corrupted and died.
Oh no.
Yeah, but now I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've been up to this week. And then just working my new job and hanging out, you know.
Yeah. Pretty much just work, reading, watching some of the DC animated movies, and then, some Rocket League. Nothing out of the norm. I had you buy Dead Earth and Man of Steel for me.
Yeah, they're out there. I should have just grabbed them too, but...
Yeah, I'm really... Oh, jeez. I was going to say, I'm really interested to read Dead Earth. I haven't read a whole lot, or really any, Wonder Woman comics, so I'm really interested. It's a newer one that takes place in, like, a post-apocalyptic Earth, where she has to, like, be a hero. It seems pretty cool. I have not heard much about it, but basically just explaining the basic premise to Dead Earth, since I just learned about it this, like, last week, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like the art on it.
Me too.
And then, yes, thank you.
I don't know how many volumes Man of Steel is, but this is volume 1.
Yeah, I know that the original out-of-print trade paperbacks, it's 9 volumes, and they're doing these hardcover reprints now. I was thinking about, like, just getting the trade paperbacks, but I was, like, looking, because most of them you can still find for a decent price, but there's a couple of them that are just rarer, and I'd have to, like, spend, like, $100 to get them, and it's like, I'll just get the fucking hardcovers.
We sell an omnibus of, like, all of Howard the Duck, or, like, a significant chunk, and it's $100, but it's huge book, and I'm just like, Howard the Duck.
I might have to come by and scoop that up one of these days.
Yo, I was looking through the comics today, and I was looking through the independent stuff, and we have first of all, I didn't realize how many, like, comics Jodorowsky has written.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has a whole, like, line called, I think, the Inkall, which is part of, like, this Humanoids universe or something. But he also, I realized we have hardcover of the 2 El Topo books he did that are about El Topo's sons.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking tight. I'm gonna have to check those out.
And they're not, I think they're only like $20 each.
Oh, that's not bad.
So, I'm just like learning so much just looking through books. I'm just like, whoa. I've been thinking about like having us read The Sandman for
that's funny that you bring that up, because I was actually thinking about the next choice being American Gods.
Just only Neil. Welcome to the Neil Gaiman podcast.
Yeah, we're entering the Neil Gaiman era next.
But The Sandman, we have like a huge collection that's all of them, and I think it's like $250. But it's all of them, so I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that I'm gonna spend too much money here. Because now I go here every day.
Fair. I would have the same fear. But I mean, can you really blame yourself? The wonderful world of comics and board games and statues and all the nerdy shit you could want.
Statues aren't even that, like, there are expensive, like, 6 scale statues, and I'm like, I don't want those. I just want, like, the $50, like, kind of goofy looking ones. I'm like, I think those are, like, more fun than, like, a 6 scale, like, super realistic model to me.
Yeah. I would never, if I was to get, like, one of those, like, really nice ones, I would probably, the realistic one I wouldn't go for, but I'd probably, like, try to find one that's, like, stylized enough where I'm like, yeah, that looks like a 3D version of what I liked from whatever this is from.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that would only be for something I'm, like, obsessed with.
Like Squirrel Girl?
I've actually never read a Squirrel
Girl. I keep meaning me neither,
so.
But we also have collections of Squirrel Girl. I'm like, I should buy this.
Yeah, at least check it out. Just skim through the pages, like read a few pages every day while you're at work. Be like, no one will know.
Nobody will know. All right, let's go to questions.
Woo!
Questions. Look out for the questions from PSW. Number 1. Is frosting the worst part on the Pop-Tart? Or is frosting the worst part or the Pop-Tart? I would say the Pop-Tart. Like...
Yeah. No, the frosting is a highlight for sure.
Like, I've had the Pop-Tarts with no frosting because I thought it'd be funny, and I'm just like, this doesn't taste good. This tastes like sand.
Yeah, I've had Pop-Tarts with nearly no frosting, and no good.
Question 2. What movie would be better if it only had one actor for every role? 12 Angry Men, but it's all Willem Dafoe.
I mean, that's almost Anomalisa, but let me think. I'm gonna say...
Adaptation, but it's all Nick Cage. Not just the brothers.
I've had a couple where I'm like, oh, I want to pick this movie that has this actor I like, but I'm usually also a fan of at least some of the supporting cast. Like, I was going to say, like, Star Wars with Adam Driver, but I'm like, but I like John Boyega, and Daisy Ridley's not bad, and I like the new cast for the most part, from what I've seen of it. I haven't seen episode 9, though. But, yeah. I'm gonna say the Dead Don't Die.
Star Wars Episode 9.
Just Adam Driver.
Dead Don't Die, but everyone's Adam Driver?
Mm-hmm.
Suspiria remake, but everyone's Tilda Swinton, not just those 3 characters.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun, too. As much as I like the cast in that movie, I couldn't deny it.
I don't think any of these movies would be better, though. It would just be fun.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Polar Express, but everyone's Tom Hanks. Because he already plays like 5 characters, whatever. Just put everyone. Question 3. In classic RPGs, what is your go-to build? Warrior, mage, rogue, etc. I'm usually just a warrior. I'm a little...
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something really satisfying about, like, either me using a sword and going, ha ha ha, or even just going, ha ha, attack, and running up and facing the enemy with just a big ass sword.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way.
That's why I like guts.
Me too. The quintessential big sword.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for the questions, Pierre.
Woo!
Woo! Now, let us get on with Wonder Woman. They came out the same year, but Wonder Woman came out like 5 months before Green Lantern.
Okay.
So, both of these are made by Lauren Montgomery. So, Wonder Woman, 2009.
Okay.
most of this is kind of similar to the live-action Wonder Woman. At least a bit. Ares is the threat. That's a spoiler for the Wonder Woman live-action movie. Well, there's a spoiler for you. Whoops.
I mean,
it's heavily implied throughout, so
yeah. Yeah, so basically, long time ago, Ares gets his ass whooped by Diana's mother, whose name I can't recall off the top of my head.
Is it Helena?
It might be.
Hippolyta?
But basically, yeah, she had been with Ares and they had had a child together. And then...
Thrax.
Basically... Huh?
Thrax.
Oh, that's the child's name?
Yeah, Thrax.
Oh, I thought you were saying that was Diana's mom's name. I'm like, I don't remember it.
I'm Thrax, the queen of Themyscira, or whatever.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. That'd be a cool name. But, yeah, so basically, yeah, she's like, oh yeah, Ares, I'm gonna beat you by fucking killing our son, and then I'm gonna kill you. But then, like, right before she kills Ares, Zeus comes in, he's like, no, you cannot kill him. She's like, what the fuck? Why not? He's a piece of shit. And he's like, yeah, but he's like,
he's
my son.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. So basically, Zeus, to compensate for his shitty decision, he's like, all right, here's what I'll do. I'll let you, he's got to stay alive, but you can, like, hold him prisoner, and I'll also put you on this island, since, like, your home is now destroyed from Ares, and this island will be, like, sealed off from the rest of, you know, mankind and their shitty wars and shit like that. So, yeah, that's basically how the island comes to be, and yeah, Ares is just chilling in a fucking jail cell.
But yeah, he escapes.
Yeah. And then Diana is made out of, like, sand and blood.
Yeah. Classic.
And then, yeah, I think she's, like, the only person who was, like, born post move to the Amazon, right?
Possibly, yes.
Yeah, I at least that's what I felt like this movie, at the very least, was implying. But, yeah, so basically, she grows up, they're teaching her how to be a warrior. She's got, like, the classic case of, I want to get the fuck off this island, because I'm fucking bored syndrome.
Yeah. I know the feeling.
Oh, exactly. But yeah, so while this is going on, it's World War II in the outside world. Is it World War II in this one? Am I getting it mixed up with the fucking pilot that I watched?
You're thinking of the pilot. And most adaptations, but this is in the same... They have, like, jets in this one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So this is just modern day.
Yeah, so basically, plane crashes.
It's Steve Trevor. He's an asshole in this movie.
Yeah, I didn't like his character in this.
There was one moment that I really laughed at, though.
Oh, what was it? I can't.
They're messing with Lincoln? Nobody messes with Lincoln! And then just starts shooting at them.
Yeah. I forgot about that part. But yeah, basically, he crash lands on the island, and all of the Amazonians are like, we gotta, like, you can't stay here, Buster. We're gonna get you back out. And then, basically, Diana's like, I want to take him out. And then, her mom's like, no, we're gonna hold a big tournament. And yeah, whoever wins will go out. But you can't participate because I'm biased and you're my daughter.
You're going on guard duty. So then Alexa shows up, who's Artemis' sister, and is like, I'll do guard duty for you. You just go win the contest. Oh God, Ares, with Persephone. She's my best friend. Nothing bad could happen if I'm hanging out with Persephone. Uh-oh, Persephone just stabbed me through the chest.
Yeah, it turns out Persephone was seduced by Ares over a long period of time, I guess, and then
this has been like, I don't know how, thousands of years? I don't know.
I mean, I think it was implied that it was like ancient Greece when they were sent to
been a long ass
Amazon.
time.
Yeah, so it's been a good few thousand years at the very least. But yeah, so basically he lets her out or she lets him out. And yeah, their original plan was to kill Diana there, but obviously she didn't show up for guard duty, so Diana is now going to be let out into the real world. Meanwhile,
she wins the contest.
Of course. Meanwhile, Ares and Persephone have already escaped, and they've gone down, and it's I don't know if they called him Hades, but that's supposed to be Hades that they talk to. Okay,
they call him Hades. He has I don't necessarily mind his character design, because I like Hades in general. A lot of the time he's like, I'm Hades, I don't do fucking anything. I make all my underworld slaves do it. But it was just and I've never seen a DC adaptation that looks like that either for Hades. So I'm just like, what? Was Lord Montgomery just like, yeah, that'll be our Hades.
Probably.
I want his neck to be fucking huge.
Well, there we go.
But he tries to goad Ares for a bit, because he's like, look, I have your son as my slave. But instead he's like, okay, I'll let you go, Ares. Knowing what will happen.
Yeah. I thought that was a little interesting moment. I don't really feel like it built into anything, but I liked that moment where he initially realized, he's like, oh fuck, that is my son. Yeah. But then he gets his power back and he's like, hey, who cares? I'm gonna go take care of the world.
I got fucking hands for days.
Because he basically just had these bracelets that were eating his power or whatever. Yeah. I don't know if I can know.
It's like Kenpachi's eye patch.
Yeah, exactly. But what's it called? Apparently, Zeus had also pleaded to Hades, hey, don't let Ares out of his cuffs. Don't do that.
And there's a little twist at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, got him.
Yep. But basically, yeah. So
rest of the movie is just Diana and Steve romping around the world trying to find Ares, pretty much.
Yep. And then they do, and then Diana almost dies, and then the whole Amazon fucking, I don't know, war fleet shows up, and they ensue in battle. Ares is defeated, and he goes back to the underworld, where he also becomes Hades' slave.
And Hades was like, your father told me this would happen if I helped you. I got him.
Yep.
Now I have another slave. Although I don't like Steve Trevor's character in this movie, I do like the hospital scene, a decent, or at least some of the hospital scene after he saves Diana, because he chose to save Diana instead of stopping Ares, which stupid move, but whatever.
No,
but he's like, I couldn't let another person die, because he had just at the beginning of the movie he watched two of his comrades get shot out of the air.
Yeah, there was. There was one point when I was watching this where he was where she's like, why didn't you, the whole world's doomed now. And he's like, well, I wanted to say, he basically was like, well, you're my world. That's not verbatim what he said, but it was that same sentiment. And I was just like,
I'm like, sir, and you have known her for 4 days.
Yeah. And then Diana's like, that's fucking stupid. Don't do that ever again. And I was like, there we go. At least it's self-aware.
Yeah, as much as like I don't like Steve Trevor in this movie, which is sad because I usually like the character of Steve Trevor. He's like a nice enough fellow. He's a nice guy in the series, is from what I remember.
They just made him a little too. What's the term? Like, he's just way too much of a womanizer in this one for me.
And he says that because he accidentally steps in the lasso of truth.
Yeah, like, he has these, like, self-realization moments, but it doesn't feel like at any point, at least from what I can recall, it's been a few days since I watched it, but it didn't feel like there was any point where he kind of stepped away from that. Yeah. I mean, he did, with, I guess, some of that schlocky shit he was saying there at the end, but it's like, I don't know, it was too little too late for me, I guess.
I feel it.
But, what's it called? What was I going to say?
But I do like Diana in this movie, I was going to say.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Diana in this movie. But when, like, the big introduction to, like, your male protagonist is one of his other co-pilots going, hey, be careful, that's the kind of guy that daughters warn their mothers about. It's like,
I'm like,
not exactly. Not the intro I want.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, oh, great. This is going to be one of our protagonists. Lovely. But aside from that, I really like this one.
Oh, I forgot to say, Alfred Molina's the voice of Ares in this. Doc.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was him. I was like, the whole time I was listening to it, I'm like, who? Like, this voice is very familiar. Who is this? And then I got to the end and I was like, oh shit. I honestly, for a minute, thought it was like Gary Busey. I was like, what the fuck?
No, that's Ginger Dead Man.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I thought he was phenomenal. I've heard a couple of his voice roles occasionally, and he's like really good at voice work.
Yeah.
And I thought he was a really good fit for Ares. And in general, I like Ares in this. He's pretty cool. I really like the climax of this movie. I think the action's like really fun to watch in the climax. All the explosions and the lightning and the dead Amazons rising from the grave. In general, I'm like, this is a really fun like climax. I think that the movie in general, some of the animation's a little wonky. I think that some of the character designs are a little too too full of edges. Some of the characters are just like,
see what you mean.
But I really like how vibrant some of the scenes are. Like, the use of color is really nice in both this and Green Lantern. I really like the use of color. It's very bright, especially for a DC animated movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, for sure. But yeah, no, I really liked this one. This is definitely one of the better DC movies I've watched. But yeah. Well, what would you give it? Or
I don't know. What
do you think I
would
would give it?
I think you would give this one a 7.
Close.
Or a high 6.
It's that's it. I think you would give this one a 7 or an 8.
I'm actually right where you are. I'm at a high 6 as well.
Okay.
Cool. It was almost a 7, but I think just Steve Trevor kind of knocked it down. Like, if they had put, like, Steve Trevor's, like, characteristics from, like, either the original show or, like, the newer movies, this could have been a 7 or 8 for me. But he just, a lot of his scenes were just like, Steve, what are you doing? But.
Yeah.
Yeah. Green Lantern, First Flight. Wait. Yes, First Flight.
Green Lantern, Training Day.
Yeah. So this movie just starts. Like, it goes so fast for the introduction to him being Green Lantern.
Yeah, that's obviously one of my big gripes with the movie, because, like, the whole time I'm like, I want to, like, at least get some sense of what he's like as a person before, the Green Lantern, but the movie's like, no, we don't have time for that. He has an Earth girlfriend, and
he's a pilot.
He's a pilot, but that's all you're gonna know.
And then he gets the Green Lantern ring like 4 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, and then he basically immediately after that, he's just flying around as the Green Lantern, and then just some of the more other Green Lantern Corps show up.
Collywog and crew show up, and they're like, "Hey, you can't have the ring!"
Yeah, and they basically take him back to the Corps.
Which is sad. I really like this movie, but like the intro, I'm just like, what's going on?
Yeah, the intro is by far the weakest part.
Once we get because it's just speeding, it's fast forwarding through like all the Earth stuff and then him getting the ring. And then once we get to like the council where they're like, well, you have to train. We've never had a human here before. Humans are weak. But Sinestro's like, I'll be with him. Then it slows down and the pacing of the movie's fine after that.
I gotta say, I have a little bit of a problem with the internal logic of the Guardians, at least how they should function. Because it seems like throughout the entirety of the story, and it seems like it was even happening like slightly before like Hal got introduced, but people were cautious of Sinestro, but at the same time, they were also like, he's one of the best. Yeah. And like most dependable, I guess. So it just leaves me feeling like I'm like, these are both two traits that are at the complete polar opposite side of the spectrum here.
I just took it to mean mostly that like even within the Guardians there's a lot of infighting, and that's what's causing like the Green Lantern Corps to like be so dysfunctional, or at least in the mind of Sinestro. He's like, you know, half these people are like, yeah, you're the best, Sinestro, and half these people are like, I'm gonna spit in your mouth.
True.
I get it though. There's some wonky storytelling going on.
But yeah, basically,
there's a lot of wipeouts in this movie.
That there are.
Like I was surprised. I'm like, oh, that person just got murdered.
Yeah, no. There's a couple brutal moments.
Sinestro tries to overdose an alien on space drugs. Like some mind sphere drug thing.
Yeah, I don't know what... Yeah, that's the best way you could probably describe whatever that was. But yeah, no, Hal then shoots the little orb and he's like, that's not cool, man.
So, bit of stupid backstory on Green Lantern real quick. So the Green Lantern Corps, they harness the energy of the green magic or something, using the power
magic of the color green.
Of the imagination. But their main weakness is yellow. The yellow... So Sinestro and Hal and crew are looking for Rothargo or something like that. His name's something like that. Who has the yellow element, or at least knows where it is. But if you know anything about Green Lantern, you know Sinestro is the yellow, like he becomes the Yellow Man. So he's secretly looking for that to spice his life up. Because he fucking hates the Green Lantern, at least the Guardians. He's like, those guys are pieces of shit. And he's like really classist. Like anytime he sees a poor person, he's like, I should kill that guy.
Yeah. And yeah, basically he just kind of weasels his way around the whole movie. There's a bit, like he turns out to like obviously have his hands very tied in with the alien that has the yellow element, and turns out to be kind of like pulling some of the strings on that. And yeah, basically he then kills that alien and frames Hal
Conjaro, that's it.
Conjaro.
Yeah, he kills like it, Conjaro. Frames Hal Jordan, is like, he's just a human, he dumb, he did it on instinct.
Yeah, and basically the Guardians are like, okay, yeah, that seems appropriate. And they're like, you can't have your ring anymore. Give it to... Oh, what's the name of the fucking great one?
I think his name's Collywog.
Yeah.
Kilowog.
Like, Kilowog, that's it, yeah. So they're like, give your ring to Kilowog. And Kilowog and your other companion shall escort you there. I can't... What was it?
Boudica,
okay.
the female one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I didn't see that coming.
No, I didn't. I always see like twists coming in DC animated movies, but then she turns on them and she's like, I've been working with Sinestro this whole time, and I'm like, what? I don't know if that's like, I don't know anything about the Green Lantern, so that might be like a thing that always happens, but I was just like, oh, I did not see that coming. Good job, movie.
The most exposure to the Green Lantern I think I've had, aside from like little random like bits that he has in like Justice League stuff, is the fucking Ryan Reynolds movie when I watched
movie
in theaters when it came out.
Taika Waititi's in that movie.
He is?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to rewatch that for this era at some point.
We're gonna just start going through the DC live action stuff soon. Of all the story arcs that we've watched in animated, so for Death of Superman, we'll watch Batman vs Superman. For Wonder Woman, we'll watch Wonder Woman. For Green Lantern vs Fly, we'll watch Green Lantern.
Yeah, we'll just do it all over.
Batman Year One, we'll just watch like Batman Begins, I guess.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Returns, we'll watch.
Dark Knight Rises,
I guess.
The closest to live action that story has been adapted, I guess, but even then it adopts traits of like Nightfall. But yeah.
And then Mr. Sinestro gets the yellow element, starts killing off all the Green Lanterns. Meanwhile, Hal Jordan fucking like makes this yellow rod thing like explode and shoot Boudica up into like a bunch of spikes. When that happened, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was just like, Jesus, okay. I see.
Because it's one thing to have, like, in Wonder Woman, you had people be decapitated, but most of the time it was, like, a silhouette of them decapitated or something like that. In this, it's just like she's like, she's like, humans.
Yeah. I wonder if she wanted to be, like, more gory with Wonder Woman, and, like, I wonder if DC was just like, no, but Green Lantern, go ahead.
It makes me so frustrated that there's not a lot of Green Lantern content, because he should be the most, like, utilized character, because you can be so creative with Green Lantern powers, and it seems like it would be really, really fun to animate, like, these powers. Like, they don't do a great job in this movie of, like, making them super creative with their powers, but there is the one time where he fucking gets the metal chair with his powers and hits somebody with it. That was great.
Yeah, I like that part. I was like, oh yeah, roasting them up Earth style. But
and occasionally some of the animated Justice League movies or stuff like that will have him do something really fun. But it's just frustrating that all the animated DC superhero movies are just like, you want Superman? You want Justice League? You want Batman? I'm like, no, I want some Green Lantern solo stuff. I want some Martian Manhunter solo stuff. I want some Wonder Woman solo stuff.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask for? You make fucking like 5 animated movies a year.
No kidding. It's like, put Batman into retirement for a couple years. Once, like, I get that there's still many Hallmark stories that they need to animate, but
there's so many other characters too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, give us some other shit. Give us some other shit. And don't disguise it as a Superman Batman movie when you do give us some other
Well, exactly.
shit.
Like Batman Soul of the Dragon was a Richard Dragon movie disguised as a Batman movie.
It's like, God, it's like, do you ever want these other characters to be marketable?
Like, I understand the idea behind it, but exactly, you're never going to make them marketable if you disguise them in other movies.
Exactly. But I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe though.
Anyway, Hal Jordan gets supercharged with green energy, and he wrecks shop. He destroys Sinestro, and then he saves the day after like hundreds of Green Lanterns have died.
Yeah, and then at the very end, he's like, "I gotta go to my other job." And he goes back to Earth to be a pilot.
And I'm like, why?
I was like, God, just cut out all the Earth stuff. It's so unnecessary. Just be like, yeah, you could have like started the movie literally just with like him flying in Earth, and then just the Green Lantern Corps being like, where's the body? And then like could have just built it up from there. We didn't necessarily need to see him getting the ring or that process. But I guess they wanted that moment.
But I'm like, well, then just make it like 15 minutes long.
Yeah, something. Just give me something.
Either cut out like those first 5 minutes or make it 15 minutes long.
Yeah. I also didn't... The introduction to Hal's character in this movie I also wasn't crazy about. Because he's like... Just on the... He's like doing the pilot thing, and he's got like his girlfriend there, and he's just basically talking. He's like, yeah, we had a great night last night. Basically like insinuating shit in front of like all of her coworkers.
Which is weird because that's completely out of character from like the rest of the time in the movie, for at least in my opinion. He's just like, he seems like a nice guy, but he's just being a dick in the beginning.
Yeah, I think, if I remember correctly, in the fucking Ryan Reynolds version, he's kind of portrayed to be a womanizer towards the start of the film, if I remember correctly, but...
Probably. Maybe we need to watch that movie for more context.
Maybe. No, that movie's bad. I just remember some dude getting a really big head.
Are you sure that wasn't Scooby-Doo?
Pretty sure.
Scrappy-Doo gets a big head. Anyway, we're back. Welcome back. We were talking about Scooby-Doo. Green Lantern. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie, at least. But I like the character of Green Lantern. I really like the action in this movie. I like a lot of the back and forth. I really like Kilowog's character development in the movie. That's like directly adverse to like Sinestro's and stuff. It's just... I think there's a lot of fun character moments in this, and I really like the supporting characters more than I do in, like, Wonder Woman. Well, like, there's some decent stuff in Wonder Woman. I kind of like the stuff with the Artemis and Alexa and stuff like that. I really like a lot of the side characters in this a little more. Plus, there's, like, a squirrel guy that's a Green Lantern.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, he saves Hal at one point.
He should be the next Green Lantern movie. Should be about him.
I'd watch it. Do you think he's an Earth squirrel, or do you think he comes from like a different planet of alien squirrels?
Probably this latter.
Probably. I want to visit that. I want to know what that planet's like.
Well, let me see. I know he's a character. Like, he's not a movie exclusive guy. Squirrel Green Lantern.
Yeah. I wonder if he's got any like
Chip. Like CH''P. Chip.
Huh.
He is from an alien planet. He is a native of the planet Hulven.
Is that all it says?
He participated in the defense of his homeworld by an invasion by the Crabster army of Dr. Ubix. He was captured and sentenced to death, but one of the Guardians of the Universe came secretly to induct him into the Corps with the power ring of his predecessor, who had fallen attempting to stop the invasion. Using the ring, Chip was able to defeat Dr. Ubix and free his world. Shortly after, he traveled to Oa, where he was instructed by Kilowog in the same group of recruits as Hal Jordan. So Kilowog was Hal Jordan's instructor, and Chip was in the same class.
DC animated. Can we get this Chip movie stat, please?
Well, like, he would be in if they were supposed to make a Green Lantern Corps movie. That was announced like 6 years ago or some shit, or 4 years ago. And then they just never did. I don't know what's going on with that. But I'm pretty sure he's part of the Green Lantern Corps. So, like, he would be in it.
Well, fuck. God damn it, DC, give us... you'd think, because, like, Green Lantern, despite, like, not having a successful, like, mainstream movie... is still like one of the more popular DC characters.
Yeah.
Like, I know lots
and
of
he's a
people
mainstay of like Justice League.
Yeah. And it's just like
Mogo. Do you know about Mogo?
no.
He's also part, or they're also part of the, I think they use he for him. They're a planet. They're a sentient planet that's part of the Green Lantern Corps.
Oh, nice. Kind of like Ego
Kind
from
of like Ego,
Marvel.
but I think good. I think nice guy. Nice
I would assume
person.
if he's in the Green
Nice
Lantern
planet.
Corps, hopefully.
It's pretty dumb. Sentient planets. Oh.
I mean, yeah.
Anyway, I really did enjoy this movie, though. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's got its rough edges, but the core of the movie is pretty good.
I think the first 15 minutes is a little rough, but after that, I genuinely enjoyed it all. Yeah.
You would give this one a 7.
I would indeed. Probably like a low 7. Like, I don't think the difference between the qualities of the two is like vast, but I think I just liked this one a little more. I think I think also because it has a little more personality, because the Wonder Woman animated movie, I've already seen like the live action and I've already seen the stuff. I'm just like I've seen this Wonder Woman story adapted so much, and like maybe this is the exact same story in the Green Lantern live action movie. I don't fucking remember that movie at all though, except that I didn't like it.
More or less, in the live action movie, it takes place on Earth. Like, we get the same, like, he gets the rain and, like, Sinestro's build up to being, like, a villain. But, like, Sinestro isn't the main villain of the first movie. It's, like, I want to say, like, some Earth scientist gets his hand on, like, some Green Lantern Corps shit, and he ends up, like, becoming, like, corrupted, and he gets a big head. That's all I remember. He just has a really big head. I kind of want to
rewatch that movie just so, like, I know. Like, maybe it's good, you know? Maybe it's one of those movies that's, like, really bad but fun.
I honestly couldn't say because I was in, like, middle school when I saw it.
Me too. So. Came out, or I think we were freshmen in high school. I think it came out in 2011.
Yeah. I would have been.
I think you would give this one a 6.
School 2011.
Or is it a 5?
Yeah. Oh,
low
it's
6?
A low 6.
Okay.
It's a low 6. Just simply because I think it has those rough edges.
Yeah, I feel it. But
yeah,
we did it. More DC down. Next episode's is direct the deep. It's a deep dive. What kind of deep dive though, Thomas?
To continue the DC era, I thought it'd be fun to revisit the I'm gonna call them the classic Superman movies, even though they're not all technically like under the guise of classic. But so like the 4 Christopher Reeve Superman movies,
and then
Superman Returns.
Okay,
and then I'm debating whether I want to throw in Supergirl or not, because I don't know when else I would ever have an opportunity just to be like, yeah, we'll watch Supergirl. But I don't know. Actually, scrap Supergirl, because 6 movies seems a little long. We'll do like a double feature with fucking Batman, Superman, Apocalypse or something one day.
There you go. I thought you were going to say with Green Lantern. We'll go with all the really shitty ones.
Yeah, I watched that Jonah Hex DC showcase, and the whole time I'm like, this is a movie, isn't it? They made a movie.
That is a Jonah Hex movie. We can watch that one for this series too.
Yeah, we can talk about like some of our plans afterwards here.
Cool.
Like with just the logistics and how long we want to carry this out and what our goals are for it or whatever. But
all right, well,
so just the 5. I'm gonna watch. I don't know if I'll watch. Are you
watching the regular cut of 2 or the Richard Donner cut?
I'm probably I've got
I'm probably just doing the regular one, just so you know.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that's streaming.
That's on HBO Max, yeah. So I'll say the regular cut. I might, no promises, but I might personally check out the Donner cut and talk about some of the differences if we do.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, just those those 5. Because cool. the first Superman movie is fucking long, and so is, I think, Superman Returns. I think those are both 2.5 hours.
Let's checkaroo. Superman 1 is 2.5 hours. Superman 2 is 2 hours. 3 is 2 hours. 4 is an hour and a half. And Superman Returns is the longest at 2.5 hours, but a little longer. So.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't wait to watch a Bryan Singer movie with Kevin Spacey in it.
Oh, I forgot he directed that.
Which is sad, because I remember liking Superman Returns, at least, but I haven't seen it in probably 14 years.
I haven't watched Superman Returns in... I saw that movie in theaters when it came out, and I haven't seen it since.
But I also haven't seen any of Superman 1 through 4, so...
I grew up watching the original quadrilogy, so I'm pretty, at least nostalgically familiar. I haven't watched them in years.
Can't wait for Thomas to tell me that Superman 4 is the best Superman movie.
Maybe ironically.
All right, well, thanks again for watching episode 79. Episode 80 coming at you soon. How about who?
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Adios. Okay.